Hi, I'm Maria Thea Harris or Velosos on social media. Welcome back to So Over 50 podcast on So Organised Style. Grab a cuppa and relax with us.
So Organised Style podcast acknowledges traditional owners of country throughout Australia. We pay our respects to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander cultures and to the elders past, present and emerging.
Thanks for listening to So Over 50's latest podcast on So Organised Style. So Over 50 intersects with all communities. Katrine of Mending Mayhem is here to talk about her creator's block that she suffered earlier this year for quite a few months. Many people refer to this time as their writer's block. Katrine is the force behind Mending Mayhem, and she has developed a series of mending podcasts over the last 18 months to encourage our listeners to take up visible mending. As you know, Mending Mayhem is the account that Katrine posts up 3 times a week to encourage people to take up visible mending. You'll hear how mending and craft are a big part of who she is, as she also lives with chronic pain. Katrine, thanks for coming back onto So Organised Style podcast today. How are you?
Thank you, Maria. I'm fine, and it's very good to be back. It's fun being on your podcast.
I'm so pleased that you've been able to do so many podcasts about mending. So it's actually been an honor for me to have you on the podcast. Today's podcast, you've written down what happened with your creativity and your mending creativity. So do you want to talk us through what's happened over the last few months?
Yeah, I can do that. Because I think most people have heard about authors having a writer's block, right?
Yeah.
Not being able to write anything new. And it's something I think happens to all creative people now and then. You know, it happens to me. It happened before, and it probably will happen again. But hopefully not anytime soon. Not being able to do anything creative is a disaster for me. I always have several projects that I'm working on. It's also helping me when I have bad days and chronic pain. It gives me joy and pretty much sums up who I am. But during the spring, I was very busy and there was much going on. My husband was seriously ill and there was a lot of other things too. So I stopped posting my landscape pictures on Instagram because it took so much of my time and energy. And I stopped taking pictures because it wasn't fun when I couldn't share anything. At the moment, I didn't think much about it, as I still was quite busy, and doing creative projects wasn't my priority. I was going to make garden figures of wire and beads, something I usually like and enjoy very much. It felt like an impossible task. It felt better to just do some doll cleaning or other things I usually try to skip to work with my creative projects. I managed to make 4, but it didn't give me any joy. Last year I made over 20 and I had great fun with them. Spring went and I found I didn't want to knit, crochet, sew or do any mending at all. When housework and painting houses, etc., sound more fun when doing what you love, it's pretty serious, don't you think?
I agree.
But I still didn't think too much about it. It has been a very good summer, perfect for outdoors activities. We aren't really spoiled with this much nice summer weather here. Usually we have a lot of rain and it's cold.
Mm-hmm.
We hurried to get our outdoor chores done as we were thinking it is not going to last. And we got so much done, but my joy for creativeness was totally gone. I had a lot of plans but never bothered to start. I could find things for my next project and just leave them there. I only did very simple things, not really managing to keep my mind focused on anything creative. I had plenty of time to do something, but I would rather just play a silly game on my phone. It actually sounds like a bit of depression, right? But mostly infected my creative part of the brain. I put off everything, thinking I would do it tomorrow, and tomorrow turned into the next tomorrow, and so on, because it felt like an unwanted task. Even posting and writing on social media was really tricky. But I have obligation to the mending community, and I felt really sad not being able to do a better job. After all, it's supposed to be the fun part. Also, Maria, when you say the fun part is to talk to the people, right?
It's nice when you post something and you have those conversations.
Yes.
But you were going through a lot during summer and spring.
Yeah, it was a really difficult time.
Yeah.
But I still felt guilty for not being able to make anything productive. and not managing to follow up with what I was supposed to do. It didn't really help. So I was fed up with not being able to create and just tried to force myself to do something. I got all my socks done and did a few very easy projects where I didn't have to think. It still wasn't fun. Making blog posts for Mending Mayhem and learning people to mend seemed impossible, and I felt more and more guilty for not managing to get back on track. I didn't know how to proceed at all. Some weeks ago, I found some yarn. I thought it might inspire me to knit a simple scarf or something. So I searched for patterns, but didn't find any I liked or had the energy to do. So it was just staying untouched. I felt like a balloon without air. Not a creative bomb left in my body, except for with fig birds, maybe. It's been the only project I actually have had a good time with lately. I realized creativity can't be forced. I already knew, but I still had to try. And everyone was telling me that I'm always creative, when my creativeness was as dry as the sand from Sahara. A few weeks ago, my sister came. She wondered if I could fix her jeans. She has very long legs and nearly ever find jeans that are long enough for her. So I said yes, and I was actually looking forward to it. For the first time in over 6 months, I was really looking forward to doing something creative. After starting with jeans, I also started with scarf. So hopefully my creative block is going away and my creative energy will return along with the joy of creating. I'm writing this because I want you to know if it happens to you, you are not the only one.
You're right, Katrina.
Yeah. And I also joined a Zen online retreat, which also gave me more inspiration and creative energy. Because I started other projects too, like I started sewing a bra because I heard you on the Zen retreat, and I did some other projects too. So I made the miniature version of an aura dress from Liz Hayward's Zero Waste pattern. And now I have several more projects I have started. So I think I'm over this now, hopefully.
The retreat came at a really good time because it ran in October. If people were thinking about making something for family, for Christmas presents, they got some new ideas.
Yes.
And the fact that you've tried the zero waste dress that Liz Hayward had on the retreat is actually really good.
I really like the way to make those patterns. So I'm thinking I will buy her book. I also joined a machine sewing embroidery class with Meredith, I think. So I'm not quite finished that one, but it was really interesting, the part I got to.
If you have a look at Meredith's Instagram feed, you can see how she's looked at nature and come up with the embroideries. They're gorgeous.
Yes. I can't imagine how she managed to make those with the sewing machine.
She's talented.
Yes, and probably has a lot of practice.
Yes.
Because you're never good at anything the first time you try.
Exactly.
Everything needs practice.
And it's really good that you share your mending skills because you've been doing that all of your life and you've learned those skills from your family.
Yes.
You've come from a long line of people who enjoy mending and share that skill with others.
Yes. And I think it's important that we learn to take care of what we have. That everyone, it should be accessible for everyone who wants to learn.
I agree. Katrine, you've had such a busy year with lots of commitments, and it was really great that you've been able to talk us through how simple things during a time when you're stressed can take a lot of energy. But it's really lovely to hear that you're back doing creative work after so many months of being in a stressful situation. So thank you for sharing that with us today.
It's my pleasure sharing everything with you, you know. I think it's important people know you can't be creative all the time. It can happen to anyone. And then you shouldn't feel like you're alone or you're the only one, right? It just makes it worse. So it's important to share so everyone can know.
Sending each other virtual hugs on Instagram.
Yeah, virtual hugs are the best.
Thank you so much, Katrine.
Thank you for having me, Maria.
It's been great. And have a lovely day, listeners. This episode of So Organised Style podcast for So Over 50 was produced by me, Maria Theoharis, with permission of Katrine of Mending Mayhem. Sound by bensound.com. You can subscribe to So Organised Style Podcast, but with an S, not a Z, on all good podcast apps. Please give us a 5-star rating and review wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you'd like to support us on our Patreon account, that would be fantastic. There are over 270 free podcasts to listen to, and as I said, every podcast is free. Our podcast aim is to keep you sewing and make you smile. Post any questions or suggestions you have on our Instagram account at So Organised Style or on our website at www.soorganisedstyle.com or on our Facebook page. We look forward to joining you in your sewing room next time. Stay safe, everyone.